Do you remember where your mother or your grandmother used to tell you, be careful because of your pride, because pride comes before the fall? This is where I think that a lot of countries were in a lot of trouble nowadays. Let's take a look at one of the articles I wanted to show you today. I feel this is dangerous. So, according to the International Monetary Fund, the International Monetary Fund is saying that Canadian mortgage default risk is the highest. No, 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 not just in North America. No, this is the entire world. So if we take a look at a little bit of the data where they're giving to us, they're going to give us this chart. I think the chart is really important for us to take a look at. If we take a look at the chart, it has lowest risk in blue, highest risk in red. This is coming from the International Monetary Fund and has a lot of different people here. So it has different criterias. Number one, household outstanding debt as a percentage of gross disposable income. Number two was debt outstanding on variable interest rate, big risk. Cumulative house growth being number four. What was number three? Share of household owning home with a mortgage. And five, cumulative policy rate changes. All very, very important. Here is the main thing. If we look at it in totality, there is a couple big countries, Canada, Australia, Luxembourg, Norway, Sweden, all at the top. My wife is from the Netherlands, so, we'll put the Netherlands in after there. And then only after that is the United States. So everybody wants to talk about all the different rates that are changing right now, but Canada is the number one on the chart with the highest risk. Category 3, 4, 5, and 6 are all rated at the absolute highest risk. Canada, the pride that Canada has. Remember, in January, the Bank of Canada became the first central bank in the world of the G7s to declare a pause. So this is really, really big for us, you guys, that this pause is what is causing all of these problems. So if we take this and we actually branch it out, you guys, we know very, very clearly that the rates are supposed to follow the United States. We talk about this all the time. It's over 90%. We always follow whatever the Americans do. Is it because Canada is too soft and we always follow whatever the United States do? No. The United States is the world reserve currency. It is what it is. Not only that, we have the largest unarmed border. We're the US's largest trading partner. You would be insane not to pay attention to what is happening in the United States. So for us to go ahead and pause those rates, I think is crazy. Now, you guys, if we want to go back, political or not political, you guys, we shouldn't be in the situation that we're in now. That was another problem. But you guys, we knew that the rates were going to go up. They keep mentioning that they want to follow CPI core inflation and they want to look at jobs report. So if you look at these three reports and it's blistering hot, blistering hot, blistering hot, what do we think they're going to do? So when they say 1 out of 5 economists in Canada were able to predict this, I don't know what they're thinking. What are you sniffing? What glue are you sniffing? Really, honestly, I don't know. Okay, let's go on. So let's take a look at a little bit of the stuff that is actually happening right now with some of the different interest rates and things that are going on. So the Bank of Canada paused. They have jumped their rates. How high have they jumped their rates? So Canada, we know finally has raised the rates again. They've raised the rates right up to here to 4.75. And so we can see, though, they paused. Remember, they paused and they paused again. This is where we can see the pause and the pause. And so these two pauses that they have are causing a lot of the problems. Whereas if we look at the United States, the federal funds effective rate has continued to go up and up and up and up, nonstop. Going way up right now. It's sitting at just over 5%. And so, you know what? This is what's causing our problems. So if we look at their interest rates for the United States, back last November, it peaked. This is the 30-year fixed rate. This is the most popular product they have. It was over 7%. And now look at where it's creeping back up to almost 7% again. And rates are skyrocketing. So you have to ask yourself, though, David, look right down here when it hit 6, it almost dropped 1 full percentage point. So you guys, what happened in February? We have to keep on asking ourselves that. And if we take a look at what the 5-year bond rate is in Canada, we just go to year to date. Guys, this is very, very clear. What happened was Silicon Valley Bank and all the other banking problems, and they reduced the amount of commissions that they're expecting on their mortgages. So prices have gone way up now because they are pegging in all of this. So how did they know? That's my question to you, because the smart money knew this a long time ago. If we look back, we know that the rates just went up 0.5% yesterday. But how come the rates have been going straight up since about May 11th? Why have they gone up? How did they know? But the question is that they knew that interest rates were going to go higher. And this is very, very predictable. Here is the problem. And this is going to be for commercial real estate. This is going to be for residential real estate. You're looking at a 40% decline in prices. So if $1 million property last year had a 2% mortgage, over 25 years, it'd be a $4,200 payment. People are not making more salary. At the end of the day, a $600,000 mortgage today at 7% would be $4,200. That's a 40% decline in purchasing power. But at the end of the day, you're still spending it. You're going to say, where did that $400,000 go, David? Well, look at $1 million property and go down to $4,200 payment. Over the lifetime last year, it was $271,000 of interest. Now they want $671,000 of interest. Can you even understand that? A $600,000 property will require $672,000 of interest. You're going to have to pay more than double the price of the home because of interest rates. And this is going to continue to hit people like square between the eyes. So this is what I want you guys to pay attention to. Home prices have to go down. Now, is that what we're seeing in the markets? Absolutely not. Let's take Toronto, where I am, just as a proxy, just to see what this is behaving. And I'll let you know what towns are similar to this. So if we look right now, what has happened since the spring when the commissions got reduced at the major banks, we can see that homes are selling instead of 30 days, they're selling in 18.7 days in Toronto, where I am. Also, if we want to go and look at what is the average price, we can look at the average prices. Average prices, look at this. I'm going to show you in the past 12 months. I'm going to show you what people are actually showing you. If they were a good agent, they would say, well, David, look at this. It went from 1.1 million all the way to 1.1 million. We've recovered all of the money. It's all back, guys. The market is back. Well, if we back it up 2 years, we can see that the average home price in Toronto was at 1.3 million, 1.286. And now it's sitting at 1.1. So we're still massively down. But remember, this bump in prices is only happening because the reduction of the commissions at the main banks on their mortgage products. So don't get suckered in. Don't get suckered into this. This is going to really, really hurt some people. Also, if we want to know, are people overpaying for properties? We could see that last year in the spring, people were paying 120% of asking price. Now they're back to the same old games, paying way over what the prices are. And so there is certain rules when it comes to real estate, and we're going to just jump into a bunch of them today. So if you guys want me to look at a certain area code, let me know what that area code is. And we'll try to pull it up, and we're going to try to help you so that you can make some better decisions moving forward. If you guys don't know me, my name is Dave. We invest all over North America. We've got courses to help you do that. And also, if you're selling your property inside of Toronto, we are here to help you sell your property for more money. Please consult sellhigher.ca. Sellhigher.ca is where we can look at that. So if you want to look at some of the rules that it comes into real estate, it's very, very important. Now, there is a leveling off, okay? There is a leveling off of prices, and this is happening absolutely everywhere. So if you want to look at how prices are operating, I want you to imagine there's like this medium pile of cash, a high pile of cash, and then a small pile of cash. If there's a table that is here and you start shaking that table, what would happen to the money? The money would fall off of the high piles and kind of go down to the low piles. And so if you're in properties that are like 2 million, these are massively down. People are very, very sticky to the areas that they are living in. If you are in a property that is 1 million, let's say just over 1 million, well, that is down less. So this could be down 20%. This is down 15%. And if you are in small condos, Small condos, entry level, near transit. Okay. I have to say, this has to be together. Good transit, good condos. These are up 10% right now because everybody wants to be in the right area. So, you're saying supply and demand, no brainer. No, it has nothing to do with supply and demand, actually. Unfortunately, supply and demand, this is the knee-jerk reaction to everybody in Canada. They always say, don't worry, immigration is going to fix it. This is their knee-jerk reaction. Here's the problem: immigration never fixes it. That is the mega problem. If we jump into any immigration story that is out there, we have to make sure that immigration, the people coming in, would be able to afford the home. So let's just say in Toronto, average home of a price is 1.2 million. Across the country, it's probably 600,000. So let's say every single person coming to Canada had the down payment 150,000 to put on the home, and they had a job in order to pay for it. Yeah, then that would fix it. But if the majority of the people coming to the country don't have the money to put down on the property and don't have a job, then it doesn't fix it at all. Then the problem gets weighed down, unfortunately. All right, so let's look into some specifics. Let's check out some specifics and let's see if we can help you into some certain areas. Thanks, guys. Thanks, guys, for all your questions. Let's jump into, and here we go. Okay, so our first one I see is L1X. Let's see if I can find that one for you, okay? Let's go into this area code and we'll take a look at L1X and see. So where we're seeing is cities over 1 million are all pretty much facing the exact same thing. So this is going to be New York. It's going to be San Francisco, Chicago, obviously worse. Toronto and Vancouver are the ones going to be bearing the majority of the brunt of that. L1X, this is for homes inside of L1X. We can see that before the prices were 1.4 is the average. This obviously is an anomaly. Currently sitting average prices inside of that one area code, 1,158,000 is the current prices selling on that one. H3A, Montreal is doing very good. Actually, if you want to take a look at the Korea HPI, Montreal is doing very well. This is in the H section, the H postal codes. But if we take a look at Montreal, it has been doing phenomenal compared to Montreal's big cities in Toronto, for example, and Vancouver. Montreal prices have been doing well. So when they started printing money, 362 was the value of a property. Currently, they're sitting at 512. If you wanted to put that in perspective against a city like Toronto, it is phenomenal. Look at Toronto's price increase here in red. Absolutely goes up. And this is a bankruptcy event for a lot of people. Montreal hasn't experienced that bankruptcy event. That was for SH. Sydney is I don't have Sydney right here. Do I have Sydney? I have the Greater Vancouver area. If that is of interest to you, let's take a look at the Greater Vancouver area. Greater Vancouver area is in red right now, Greater Vancouver. But if you look, that's a bankruptcy event right there that happened in 2019. Also, big drop here, but there is a recovery. But every time you see on the news and they're talking about a recovery, you're just seeing these small little upticks that are here on the side. What is it changing in Vancouver? 1 million, 1.1 to 1.17. It's not changing enough for it to actually be really exciting. Please, if you're on YouTube, if you're on Facebook, you can leave your questions for me. I'll see if I can get to it. L3K is a question that you guys are looking up. Ask me some more questions about the different areas that you're in, and we could try to help you out with that as well. L3K is one of the areas that you wanted me to look up. Let's see what we can find. Don't have enough for that one. I'm sorry. So as a general for the L3K, for most of the Ls, where we're sitting right now is that they're down around 25% as a whole. L1L, I'm seeing. Let's take a look at L1L. I'll try to get to all you guys. Sorry. There's just a lot of comments coming in. L1L average prices were 1.2 million last year. Currently down 32%, down to $855,000 is the average price inside of L1L. All right. L4N is another one that we're looking up. So these are in the outskirts, the ones that we're mentioning right now, outskirts of Toronto. L4 November. The prices are suffering in a lot of different areas, but they're very, very different. The area we just looked before was down 30%. As you can see right now, average prices are 792,000, and it's down 13% from last January. That's where the prices are right now. L7K is the area. All right, you guys. So if you're thinking of selling your properties, please go to sellhigher.ca. Sellhigher.ca. This is where you can sell your home for more money, faster, less hassle. You can just put in your name there, and our team will get back to you. This is our website, so please go here and check it out if you're thinking of selling your property. All right. So the next one that you wanted us to look at is L3K. Let's see if I have enough information for L3K. I think that I had. Did I look this one up? I'm not really sure. I like doing it live because a lot of people accuse us of messing with the numbers, and I like doing it live for you. I don't have enough for L3K. I'm sorry. Sydney, Nova Scotia. I don't know if we have Nova Scotia as a whole. I don't have just Sydney. So let me take a look at Sydney. Look at how safe Sydney is. My goodness. 220,000 before 2020, peaked at 417,000, currently sitting at 384,000 is the average price in Nova Scotia. So doing very, very well. L4N, oh boy, we got a lot coming in here, you guys. Woo! You guys are really making me work tonight. All right, well, a lot of people are very, very, very concerned about what has been happening with these rates. So this is why we try to do this, is to help people. Just so that you know, I'm about 20 behind, but I'm going to catch up as much as I can. Instead of L6T, right now, average prices are selling for $862,000. The peak was 956. Let's see what else that we got here. So if you guys are trying to sell your property, we can get into a lot more information. So let's just say there's one gentleman here. He's looking for L4N. Let me try to pull that one up. What we could do is we can actually look by city. We can also look by individual property types. So L4N, let's pull this up. L4N is down 13%. Average price is $792,000 right now. But if you look and you do your research properly, you're going to be able to pull this apart. And maybe we're only going to look at townhouses, for example. Maybe we're only going to look at 3 bedrooms. This is really, really important information for you to find out if you are selling. So it's important to know that if you're in a townhouse in 3 bedrooms in this section, that you can get it's down 24% from his total, and to know the price, to know how long it's selling. It's very, very important for us to know all of that information when we're going to be selling a property. So L7K, I think I already looked that one up. Sorry, guys, I'm getting mixed up here. So I want to make sure that I'm getting everybody, but M9A was a question that we had. M9A average price, look at that, 1,045,000. Obviously, you could see there's some anomalies that have happened inside of this area. These peaks shouldn't be there, especially these 3. So we'd have to do more information on it. But this is probably where it should be right now, about 1,045,000. It might be slightly higher, just judging from where the peak was at 1.6. But we'd have to do some more research. Like, let us know what type of property it is. L6J. If you've done this long enough, as unfortunately I'm dating myself, if you've done it long enough, you can actually tell when a chart has anomalies or not, just because we do this all the time. Even something like this is an abnormal chart. Look at the housing prices. We can already tell you when it's 3.2 million inside of L6J. You'd have to be more specific. If it's a 4-bedroom, do you know, for example, detached, or if it's a condo, what type of property it is. Already we know that when property prices are this high, in the 2 to 3.5 million. Now it can be swayed very, very easily. Size of bedrooms, size of garages, size of lots. A lot has to do with that. So we'd have to do more research on that one. L6T, let's try to pull up yours at L6T. So property prices are going to be coming down quite a bit through this year as the recession takes hold. Unfortunately, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to get hurt by this. In the last 2 years, property prices inside of L6T were $956,000 at the peak, currently sitting at $862,000. Hopefully that helps. VIN, I think that's Greater Vancouver. So the Greater Vancouver area currently is sitting at $1,170,000 for the Greater Vancouver area. L4B, you're looking for Barrie. So Barrie, if we take a look at Barrie has been performing, I would say rather poorly. This is why we never invest in Barrie. Barrie is uninvestable unless you're an end user, unfortunately. If you're living there because your wife works at a school there and your family lives there, that's great, right? But at the end of the day, it's still not investable for the majority of people right now. Barrie prices in the past 2 years went from $969,000 average price. Barrie has come down a lot, down to $767,000 average price. And it's got to come down a lot more when we're looking at the size of the loans. According to people's salaries. Remember, home prices have to follow salaries. And if people have to pay the same amount on their mortgages, well, then home prices is the thing that can give. The odds of people getting a 40% raise in their wages, I think, is very, very little. It's going to be low. L1 Edward is a question that we have coming in here right now. L1 Edward, let's take a look at that one. L1 Edward. Let's see what they say. Then we have to look at Welland. Let's see if we have Welland on here. So 1.2 million was L1 Edward, currently sitting at 932,000. If we're going to look at Welland, I'm not really sure. Just give me a second here. See if I can find it. Not here. Let's try to find it on the city. It's really hard to do this on the fly, but hopefully you guys appreciate the effort that I'm putting in here. I'm hopefully. Welland. We got a lot of towns here, but I'm looking for it. Wellington. I don't see it right away. I'm sorry if I can't find Welland, though. I can tell you it has been pretty stable. So as far as prices, they're not. No, I don't have enough for Welland. I apologize. Milton. We have enough for Milton. 1,505 homes sold in Milton. So the average home price in Milton was 1.3 million. If we looked at before, this is homes and condos and every type of property, all mixed. Average price right now, 1.1. Overall, prices are only down 11%. So very, very resilient, which means that's a great time to buy. To sell a property. If it was below like minus 35%, then it's a good time to buy. Caledon L7K. Tom, do you have like 100 houses, Tom? Because you've asked me for like half the area codes in Toronto, it feels like. L7K. Let's take a look. I think Tom has an entire portfolio around Toronto. L7K, average home prices are down 43%. So as you guys can see, a lot of different areas of Toronto, some areas are down 10%, some areas are down 43%. A lot changes, right? This is why we have to make sure that we're following the numbers. And it's very, very easy if you work with an agent who's been doing this for a long time. They're going to be able to help you do real good stuff, I think. If you don't have an agent and you're thinking of selling your home, go to sellhigher.ca, where you can sell your home for more money. This is my company, and we can help you get on your way and sell your home for more cash. I mean, that's what everybody really wants, right? Inside of M2J, average home prices right now are selling for $890,000. That is the price that you're going to be getting right now. So hopefully this is helping you guys out. If you guys have any questions on Facebook, on YouTube, anything about real estate, please let me know. We're going to be getting through this time together. There's going to be some tough times coming up, and so the reason why we do this is we want to help people. Hopefully, they're not going to get buried so badly. That's my major fear. So guys, if you're going to write something in, I have a lot of people writing questions. So now we're over 50 questions behind. So I think that some people are writing more than once. Manitoba and Winnipeg is my next question. Manitoba, Winnipeg. Let's check out Winnipeg right here. And we're going to leave the other ones up just so that we have something similar that we can peg it to. Right here, Winnipeg, if you can see in teal, average price in Winnipeg right now is $344,000. Very stable. Look at this craziness up here for like Vancouver. These big drops in prices are bankruptcy events for a lot of people. So clearly Winnipeg is not hitting that. Do you think there's going to be another rate hike? You guys, I think there should be another rate hike. So if we look at the United States have done 10 increases in a row. Canada was very cocky and thought that they would pause twice before the fall, right? They were the first country actually to pause their interest rates. Big mistake. And now they're having to eat crow, and they're going to have to raise it up, and they're probably going to have to raise it again, unfortunately, but this is the way it goes. This is what happens when we have politicians steering an economic shift. They don't know what they're supposed to be doing. All right, so let's take a look at the next one. I have a question for M2J. And you guys are keeping me on my toes right now. Average price $890,000 inside of M2J. We got some questions coming in from YouTube. What is the best place to invest where prices drop? Windsor or USA? Oh, USA, Cynthia, for sure. Not in Windsor. Do you see more opportunities coming up in the market soon with these rates? Adi Kupa, yes, this is coming from YouTube. Yes, I do think there's going to be a lot of that. But remember, there's a lag effect. So if we look at what is response lag, just Google that and go read that article on Investopedia, how it works. Understand that when they raise the interest rates and when they actually see a change in the market, how long does it take? It takes a long time. If we look at it, they say it's 18 months. I'm trying to look at where it actually says that. They say in the article it's 18 months, but it can take 2 years. It takes time for that to happen. Here it is right here. In the Federal Reserve or the Bank of Canada or whatever, it can take 18 months before there's evidence of the change's impact. So just remember that. It takes time. Takes time. There will be deals. They are coming. You know, they say winter is coming, right? This is what we're talking about. Langley, BC. So Langley is BC interior. So if we look at BC interior, BC, there we go. If we pull up that one, interior BC, look at that one in this light teal here. Average prices in interior BC are $676,000 as opposed to Greater Vancouver, $1.17 million. Big difference. So yeah, Langley I would say is more stable. Barrie, we already talked about. L1N. Let's take a look at this one. We're looking for, L1N, L1 November. They said, please. How can I say no if somebody is actually saying please? That's wonderful. I think decorum has been lost nowadays. L1N. Let's take a look at that one. And we're going to look at prices for, this is Can O2 Gold. L1N average price is $951,000. This, look at that spike in prices. My goodness. Average price is only down 1% in 12 months. But if we go back to the beginning of where it was last year, it's a bit more, 12%. That means it's still artificially high. That means good selling territory. Good selling territory. Adi Kupa, would you recommend 1 year fixed or 3 year or 5 year? I would only do 1 year. no way I'd do any more than that. I'm not a mortgage broker, but you guys know that I am a real estate investor and I do this myself. So if you want to talk to my mortgage agents, you can send me a message at contact@Rough Team Realty. Also, if you're thinking of selling your property, which is what we do, you can go to sellhigher.ca. That's where you can sell your home for more cash. Okay, so let's jump back in here then. And if your agent does not have information like this for you, man, I think you need a new agent. Langley, BC. Langley, BC. I don't remember. So I've never worked in Langley. I'm just wondering, does it fall? Yeah, interior. That's what I thought. Okay, so we already did that. That's right here. So the interior BC, I don't have just Langley, but it's at 676,000. But look at how stable the interior BC is into the manic depressive market that is on the coast. Unbelievable. November 0B. I don't know where November is. NOB. N0B. Do you guys know where that is? Is that Guelph? Close enough, right? N0B. Let's take a look at Guelph. We're going to take a look at the city. We're going to try to look up that one. So you guys, do you have any other questions about real estate, or do you just want me to look up property prices? Let me know, because I think that this is important where you guys are learning instead of just getting one number. Home prices are going to continue to get pounded throughout the year. Because interest rates have to stay up a lot longer. The government's going to be holding your head underwater. Inside of Guelph now, the average price inside of Guelph is $826,000. This is going to be continuing for a while. L8J is the next one that I see right here. L8J, let's take a look. L8J down 21%. 21% average price, $857,000 from 1.2 million. I can tell you that a lot of clients these days, they are not thinking correctly. People have lost their minds. Unfortunately, some of them are saying, well, here is the price last year at $1,286,000, and that's the price I want today. I don't care. So, a lot of people are being completely unrealistic with that. If that is the case, then there's no use even listing a property. So most agents, they'll do it, and then they're going to beat you up on the price later. Don't get sucked into that, because agents are going to say anything that they possibly can to get you to sign with them, and then you're locked in with them for 6 months while your home price. It's a terrible decision. Number two is that you're going to have them go and list your property, and you don't have somebody who's been negotiating for 10, 15 years. You're going to be working with someone who doesn't have the experience to advertise the property to hundreds of thousands of people to get more people. There's a very clear mathematical thing. The more people see your property, the more showings you get, and then the more offers you get, which means the more money you get. And I can't tell you the number of people who are pinching pennies and losing dollars. A big, big, big mistake. And so, unfortunately, we got to see this every day. So let's look at Welland, Ontario multiplex. Yeah, I think that we talked about Welland already several times today. Welland is, let's see if we could pull it up. Oh, no, we couldn't find Welland, right, on the list. But Welland is not a place that I would be buying right now. Welland properties are down about 15% right now. But I think I already pulled Welland up. You guys, that's just in heading inland between Erie and Niagara Falls. Yeah, I didn't have enough for Welland. Sorry. Next time. Are we looking at 2 more increases or up in the air? Up in the air. Montreal Property Services, how are you, buddy? Good to see you. Are we looking up for more increases? You guys know that I was expecting fully an increase in rates this year. This past one yesterday, I was expecting it. They made a mistake. They should not have paused it. So now they're eating crow. Big mistake. So where are they going to go next? They're probably going to raise it one more time, I think. They have to catch up to the United States. It was their mistake. Do you see more opportunities coming up in the market with these rates? Yeah, Addie, I do. I do. I see. a lot of things that are going to be coming in the future. I'm super, super, super excited because I'm going to be buying real estate from people at some amazing deals. I can't wait. M1J is a question that is coming up. M1 Juliet. Let's take a look at this one. This should be giving you, I think, a little bit. So we're only helping one person when we're looking at this, right? But what this should be telling you is that you should be able to see, excuse me, some patterns. And the pattern that I would say is the most expensive homes are dropping the most. So inside of M1J detached 4 bedrooms, average price is $1,185,000. This is for Love and Peace. So you guys should be seeing some patterns that are coming up. The bigger the prices, the bigger the fall usually. Cambridge. All right. So this is a question coming to us from YouTube. Let's see what we can find in Cambridge. We'll look at a couple different ones, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to find it. I don't know if I have Cambridge here. I don't know if I have enough for Cambridge. I apologize. And I don't want to keep everybody waiting. I've worked in Cambridge a lot, so I'm just surprised that I don't have it right here. So I don't have it off the tip of my hand. I'm sorry. I want to make sure that I'm getting some of you guys 3-bedroom detached house in Burlington. This is a question that's coming on. Burlington, 2,300 properties actually sold last year. And you're looking for a property. This is for Pupper's dad. Detached property, he's saying, is what he has in Burlington. So average property price, most of the properties, it's like 2/3 of the properties they're down 17% down from the peak. 1.8 million last year at the beginning. Now 1.5 million is the average home price in Burlington. So hopefully that is helping you guys out. Niagara Falls, Angus is doing some interesting stuff, I think, over time. Nelly, I have 2 options. Nelly, this is the question coming in from YouTube. Give me another question. You have 2 options. What are your 2 options? Let's see what you can do. It's usually sell your house or stay in your house, right? So this is good, you guys. Thank you guys for all your questions. It's hard for me to get everybody. Alan is asking me about Calgary, so let me try to see if I can get Calgary. There's just so many questions that are coming in. I'm trying to keep up with them. I'm not deliberately skipping anybody, but let's try to see where Calgary is. So if we're going to look at, this is just a whole whack of different cities. If we look at Vancouver, Toronto at the top, BC, Interior, Montreal, Calgary. So if we take a look at Calgary, look at how stable Calgary is. Beautiful. Nice orange color, remind me of the fields. Both sides of my family have Calgary roots. My wife is from there too. So if we look here at Calgary, look how stable. Average home price $400,000 before they started printing money. Currently sitting at $538,000. This is after the whole move to Calgary campaign in conjunction with the lowering of interest rates. But very, 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 very stable. The actual price increase is way less than the print that they've done in the past few years. So Calgary is still a good buy opportunity right now. Nelly is writing, keep my variable rate current at 6.4. Yeah, I mean, you can keep your variable rate right now. I think that's an option, or you can fix it for like a year or something and see where it's going to go. The likelihood is by the second half of this year, we're going to be running into some real big brick walls in the economy. And if that happens, what happens every single time? They got to lower interest rates. So that happens every time. We're going to be having some big issues. So what happens? But will they ever raise it for no reason? Never. So, so let's look at a history of the U.S. Interest rates. Okay, and we're going to look for the Fred documents. That's not the one I'm looking for. If you want it, I mean, we can U.S. interest rates. So let's look up maybe M2 supply. Maybe let's look up that. But what happens whenever we go into a recession? These gray lines here that you can see are the recessions. So whenever we run into a recession, you'll see that the line continues to go up, massive amounts of money printing. And whenever they print a lot of money, that means the interest rates will go down over time. So, you know, we have to look at that. If we look at policy rate, the Fed, let's see if we can find it. We're going to go back. Max. Let's see if this is. No, this isn't the right chart. But anyway, you guys get the idea of what I'm talking about, right? Every single time they'll print more money and rates will go down. I don't want to keep you just sitting here. Sorry. I want to make sure that you guys are okay. Nelly, you said thank you very much for all the work that we're putting in. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Hopefully that I'm helping you guys with some of your questions at the end of the day. I want to make sure that you guys are going to be stable here because there's a lot of crap that is going on in the markets, right? And the real estate is going to continue to hurt a lot of people. Do you guys have any questions, direct questions for me that can help you get better in the future? This is what I'm going to tell you. Interest rates will stay high as long as they possibly can. They printed way too much money. And when they print way too much money in the economy in different ways with low rates, they're incentivizing you to do that. When they do that, they're going to be punishing you. They need to get that money back. And they're getting that money back by charging these enormous interest rates. And that's going to continue. That's going to continue for a while. It's going to continue until it's too late and they've broken something. Both Canada and the United States have said on both fronts that this will continue and they would rather go too far and then fix their problem. So expect this to continue. If you guys look at this, the International Monetary Fund put out their article and they said that Canada, according to the International Monetary Fund, this is a big organization, that it's at risk. And of course, Toronto is at the forefront of that. Canada is the most at risk on the planet. Most at risk on the planet. Second is Australia, Luxembourg, Norway. So this should worry a lot of people. And I don't know why it's not worrying more people. This is where we're heading. So what are we going to do about it? So I think when you're going to take a look at Toronto and you want to see that the prices have gone that far up, can you imagine in the past 12 months, real estate prices have rebounded that much? It is a gift from heaven, okay, that prices have rebounded that much for people. It is giving them a second chance to sell their property and get out of the tsunami that's coming their way. So if you're thinking of selling your property, this is what we do. You can go to sellhigher.ca. This is where you can sell your money. Otherwise, go with an agent that has a lot of experience. Please, experience means everything in this market. This is what you're going to need moving forward. So just remember that our bond rates this means mortgage rates in Canada. So a government only sets an overnight rate. When they're going to set an overnight rate, that is not the mortgage rate. It's up to an individual bank to decide what the individual mortgage rate will be. So the higher the rate is up here means the lower the value of your house. When the rates come down and they're at the bottom of those troughs, that's when you get the most money for your home. So right now, sitting up where it is right now, this is really high, 3.7. Just look, a couple weeks ago, it was almost 2.8. It's almost 1% difference. But you're telling me, well, David, the actual government only raised the rate by 0.25%. Okay, but that's what the central bank did. That's not what your individual bank did. Bank of Montreal or Bank of America or whatever. They jumped it a whole percentage point. Just to put that in perspective, by raising it a whole percentage point, your homes have to drop 10%. 10%. That is a whopping number. So 10% on a home is massive. So this is what I want you to pay attention to. If we take a loan at $1 million, let's just change some of these numbers here. 6.5, 6% to 7%. Okay, we're just going to look at what would happen. So the only difference here is a $1 million property at the top, 1 million, 6%, 7%. Same amortization. Your price jumps from 6,400 to 7,000. Who is coming up with another $600? People don't have that money. So when they don't have the extra cash and banks are tightening on liquidity, they're going to crunch down the purchase price. And so normally you're going to lose around 10%. It'll be just over that. But if you lower it down, look at that, 910,000, it'll be the same payment. You've lost $90,000 when they increased the rates just in the past couple of weeks. So the difference here is not the sellers, not the buyers. The buyers are told this immediately from their mortgage broker the next day. What you're not hearing is from the sellers. The sellers have their feet stuck in the mud and they will not move. This is a big game of chicken right now, and they're not wanting to change it, unfortunately. And this is going to continue, this game of chicken between buyers and sellers. Unfortunately, it's the patient people who will actually really come out ahead here. I have a question coming in for Hamilton. Let's see what we can find in Hamilton. So, this is very, very interesting, very, very similar to most of the areas that are outside. Hamilton, as you can see, went from 918,000 down to 842, only down 8% overall. But if we actually go back to the peak, to drop from 1,062,000 all the way down to 842,000, that's a big drop, big drop. So hi Michelle, how are you? Good to see you. So that was for Stony Creek. Anyway, hopefully this is helping you guys. Hopefully that you're getting some real good stuff from this. Mandeep, you're looking for a property in Brampton, a very certain area. Yeah, if you're thinking of selling a property, Mandeep, and you have very specific stuff, you can send us a message at contact@Rough Team Realty. Contact@Rough Team Realty. You can send me a message there, or you can go to sellhigher.ca. This is where you can sell your home for more money. It's a free consultation with our group. Just fill out your information and we'll get back to you when we can. Thank you very much. All right, Nelly, on YouTube, you're mentioning, I don't want to sell my home. If I were to break my contract early, I would have to pay a big penalty of interest, $8,000, to lock in fixed rate of 6.5 for 2 years. So yeah, I mean, it's up to everybody to make a good choice. Again, I'm not a mortgage broker. I'm a real estate broker, but I can just tell you from my own experience what I would do if I was investing right now. For myself, I wouldn't pay that type of premium to lock in my rates right now. But that's just me. I'm not a mortgage broker though. But I wish you the best. If you're not selling your home, you're going to be in this for the long run. So I hope that you have enough juice left over to be able to withstand these rate hikes that are going to be sticking around for longer than we had expected. I think it's going to be sticking around for longer. We have some questions coming up for different areas of Canada. So let's just try to pull up. London is one question. We also have an Edmonton question. So we don't work in Edmonton, for example. I don't work there, but I just do this for other people. And, we do this for our own knowledge all the time. Take a look at London properties, absolutely bananas, going from 382,000 all the way up to 773 is the average price right now in London. Average price 607,000. That is a massive drop. London got blown up with prices. Edmonton has been very, 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 very steady. Look at that. Edmonton's prices have been flat essentially for a decade. So that's really good. Edmonton prices 373. This is a cash flow market. This is not an appreciation market. Average price before COVID was 350, and currently it's sitting at 370. So, I mean, after you consider inflation, it's actually dropped a lot in value. So that is a very good cash flow market for some people. But I don't invest there, but I know a lot of people who do. All right. Elias, L5N is what you're looking for. Could you elaborate why you think Airbnb, Barrie is uninvestable? I don't think that Barrie is investable. No, I don't. And the reason is it's a satellite city. Whenever satellite cities, they get a little bit too big for their britches and the prices go out of whack compared to rent. When you look at the loan value versus your rent price, it's just not worth it. You can get a lot more income in other places. So some people would argue that and say, well, I'm making 6% on something. I'm like, yeah, but you can make 9. So you didn't actually make 6, you're actually losing 3 or leaving 3% on the table. And that's why right now we don't invest. Well, I mean, we haven't invested in Barrie in like 9 years or something like that. So it's not investable there because the prices are way out of whack compared to rent prices. Do you expect housing to crash in 2024? Well, I mean, this is always, I see a lot of this weird stuff online, okay? And it's very, very clickbaity. So let me show you what I would say. My answer is yes, but my question is what do you count as a crash? That's my question for you. Everyone's definition of a crash is different. So if we go back 20 years and we go back all the way to 2004, almost every city in the world over a million people, this is the exact same thing that they saw. Now, this was a created one in 2017 by the local government here banning foreign ownership. But you see, it goes up and down, up and down. This was man-made here. But look at that crash that has happened just this past year. That would be considered the greatest crash in 30 years. So when you ask me, do I see that there's a crash? The crash has already happened, guys. This is why I told you last spring, sell your property. Last summer, I told you sell your property. Last fall, I said sell your property. I'm taking heat from everybody as property prices are dropping. I'm the only agent that's only income comes from selling properties. And I'm the one telling people don't buy. I mean, I know it sounds crazy, but the reason I do it is because I want my clients to make more money in the long term. And if you study economics as long as I have, there's some very, very clear things. Interest rates go up, prices come down. So this is where we're at right now. I have one more question coming in for L5N. Let's take a look at that one, okay? And see where we're at with that one. L5N. This is a very popular one for some reason. A lot of people ask me about this area. So down 12%, which is incredible. 1.2 million, 1.26 at the peak, currently sitting in 1,075,000. My goodness, that's unbelievably high for the price point and for that actual area. For it to only be down that much, it's incredible. So that would be a good time to sell. You saw some other ones earlier today that were 40%. If it was 40%, that would be something that you would want to be what? That's a buy opportunity. So it really depends what type of product and where you are. Hey, TJ, how are you? How is Halifax responding? Halifax, poor Halifax, man. And the fires that is happening right there, my goodness. We are sure thinking about those guys. They are getting hurt bad. How is Halifax behaving? Let's take a look. Halifax was way over Nova Scotia as a whole, but Halifax went from 300,000, currently sitting at 500,000, which is massive, absolutely massive. Edmonton is sitting steady. Prices have remained the same in Edmonton for over a decade. Prices were the same back in 2007. Flat. Edmonton's always the same. It's a cash flow market. This is not an appreciation market for Edmonton. But hopefully this helps you guys. Hopefully that you guys are really, really thinking about this, because I mean, there is some fantastic things that are going to go on in the future. This is going to give you a lot of opportunity to be able to buy properties at incredible deals. I mean, at the end of the day, this is all we want. We want you to be able to make a lot more money. And so if you're thinking about selling your property inside of Toronto, this is what we do. You can go to sellhigher.ca, sellhigher.ca, where you sell your home for more money. And you can reach out to us there and get in contact with our team. Anyway, we wish you guys the very, very best. Hopefully this cleared this up. Those interest rates are going to be staying high for a lot longer. It's going to be pounding people. So as this is going to continue and people are going to get more and more hurt, we're going to have to make some very, very interesting decisions moving forward. So this is where I want you guys to be careful. These prices, as you can see, these are the ones that are bankruptcy events. If we look at all the cities across Canada, the biggest ones that are going to hurt us are the areas in Toronto and inside of Vancouver. If we look at those two areas, these are bankruptcy events, these massive drops that you're seeing there. That's what's going to wipe you out. Absolutely. So that's why I want you guys to be careful, okay? If you are outside of that, let's say that you were in one of these lower ones, Nova Scotia, Winnipeg, or whatever, you guys are going to be fine. The people in Canada that are going to get hammered are the people in Toronto and the people in Vancouver. These drops are always the biggest on the biggest dollar amounts. So that's the one to be careful of. Anyway, you guys, I try to be here as often as I can. I hope that you guys are being smart out there right now, and I wish you the very, very best. Please follow our channel. We'll try to do this as much as possible. Please follow us. Please support us. Thank you very much, and I hope that you have a fantastic night. Thank you, everybody.